Since you've gone in that direction, let's talk about the integrity and the courage that it took. And I imagine that every time you got in that plane, you either had an absolutely positive thought of nothing's going to touch me, or maybe you had a question. But the Jollies, I mean, that's a very thin-skinned aircraft, and they seem to be, their motto is, so others may live. Can you, I know you've spoken with those guys, can you speak to any of that, of what the mental state had to be going in? What would a man do to save another man? I mean, how did you get in that?
It's fascinating, Rich, because one of the things that I figured out in the first couple of months I was there, and we flew not only with the Jollies, but with the 21st SOS Knives, who flew the Army Special Ops Team's secret missions with us, and they were just like the Jollies. I mean, they were every bit as good and every bit as brave, flying in the same kind of situations, except they were trying to pick up whole teams, not just one or two people. But the thing I figured out was those guys had a very clear perception that they were in danger, they were in a lot of danger, but they were going to do their job right, and these two guys flying around above them in A1s were going to take care of them. Now that, once you figure that out as an A1 guy, that's a pretty big burden. If you think this guy and 5 crew members and this 80,000-pound helicopter really think you can protect them from anything, that's a wonderful thought, but it's not realistic. But that was the way it was, and so it's so interesting. Years later, every A1 pilot will tell you that the bravest people they saw were the helicopter pilots, were the Jollies, the Knives, the Army Huey guys, the Air America Huey and H-34 guys that we flew with in Laos. The 5 hobos that were shot down in Laos during my tour, all 5, including Mike Foss, who I described in Nail 3-1, all 5 of them were picked up by Air America before the U.S. guys ever got there. That's how good the Air America guys were. So I think that was a special mindset and a special commitment to bravery that these helicopter guys had. And the ones that had it the best were the ones that always ended up making the pickups. It was the Dale Stovall's and the Clyde Bennett's and the Ken Ernst that did Ashcan. I mean, everybody looked at that and thought, that's impossible. How did he do that? So they were an amazing breed, and the guys in the back of those helicopters were unbelievable. Those PJs go down that penetrator into no man's land, and a couple of times the PJ got left on the ground because the helicopter got shot off, or the cable broke or something like. I mean, they were the bravest of the brave, and to go down and get a guy like Bob Belli, who's almost dead, and get him on the penetrator with a leg that doesn't work and an arm that he screams every time it moves, and get him up. Those PJs were amazing, and are still to this day are amazing.
Unbelievable.